Well, howdy, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Bear with me a moment as I get all my windows lined up correctly. How's everyone doing tonight? So I have not tried this before. However, I've decided to try live streaming to Twitter as well. I just got it semi figured out how to do that. So now I am streaming to Twitch, YouTube, Rumble, and Twitter, or X. So we'll see how this turns out. Don't tune out. And let's see, what am I missing? Let me start some music here. Oh no. Music ain't working. Just a moment. Let's try that. Okay. All right. And Rumble looks like it's good. YouTube looks like it's good. Twitch looks like it's good. And Twitter? I'm thinking Twitter's working. Trying to see if there is a way to keep an eye on the Twitter chat. I mean, I wish I could pop that out, but I guess I got that there. All right, let's get going. So it's been a couple weeks, a few weeks, a couple weeks, I don't know. Several weeks. It's been some amount of weeks since the last stream. And we were able to get quite a bit done. If you can see this roadmap, stage 1, we're trying to complete. We're going to present this on this coming Monday for the Dash Incubator channel. And what we need to complete is the encryption for wallet data beyond just the recovery phrase. So specifically contact data. And then we need to enable backing up the wallet and the contact data. Chances are the backup will be added into the profile. So actually, let's back up here. So this is what we're building. Most of this is built so far, but we've been working on getting. I wonder if I could do this. Let's see. Nope, that was a bad choice. Milk was a bad choice. So we've been building this wallet that is supposed to function for Dash more like Venmo than any of the traditional wallets that we currently have, or at least that I'm aware of. So we've got most of this functionality built out with a little extra. Like right now, we call this alias rather than username, and we've also got the ability to import an existing rather than generating. Either way, you would go next, it would show you the recovery phrase that you need to back up. In ours, when you click done, you still need to enter an encryption passphrase. And the encryption password is required. Theoretically, we can make it not required, but I think it's better to have it required. And actually requiring the encryption password is required to generate key stores, and we just went to a lot of trouble to get this key store stuff added in. So this is still the design, showing, you know, the different dialogues you have. It shows you how to add a new contact, how to edit, and sending and requesting, and I think there's that. So we haven't gotten to this yet, but it's low on the priorities. But let's go ahead and walk through this. I'm actually going to use, rather than generating a new phrase right now, I have so many phrases that I would rather just import a phrase I have already. So I'm going to call this alias Jojo. Enter an encryption password. I'm going to say remember. And that gets us in here. And this wallet has some funds. That's part of why I'm using it rather than starting with a new one. And let's see. I'm going to set up another wallet here. This is a different browser window. And I selected a key store this time. It's a previously generated key store. I'm going to call this one Byte. And instead of encrypting, we actually have to decrypt this key store. And so let's see if I can find the right password here. Looks like it worked. Okay, so we've got two different wallets here, and we're going to go in here and just add a more friendly name. I mean, all it is capitalized, but I think it fills things out nicer. So I'm going to do new contact and copy that, and then new contact and paste it there. So that will add byte. Some of the stuff we've worked on semi-recently in the last few streams is if I click add contact here, we used to lose this information for copying the URI, and then you weren't able to give it to this user. I say lose, we didn't lose it, it was just hidden and inaccessible. So now if I click this, and I believe if I click here, this is that same information. So now I can copy it, and this is simulating adding contacts. So, you know, if you're adding Alice and you're Bob, and you add Alice to yours, but forget to send Alice your information, that's what this does, is this is sending Alice your wallet information. But in this example, I'm doing Byte and Jojo. So this is the pairing info for Byte. So I'm copying that and paste it there. And this adds Jojo to Byte's wallet. And now we have a paired Byte with Jojo and Jojo with Byte right there. Maybe I should zoom in a bit. I don't know. I don't know if that's helpful or not. Maybe I'll zoom in here too. Okay, so we've got these two contacts. I'm actually surprised this wallet appears to be empty. I thought it had funds, but that might be my bad. It's okay, because we can demonstrate sending funds. Oh, I forgot to do something. Hang on. My apologies. I'm actually curious. Oh, no. Oh, that would have been really nice if it worked. I forgot to put out some links that I normally do. So let's see if this does it. Okay. So we can test sending some funds. So if we want to send a byte, we can click into here and click send or request. We should also be able to delete with confirmation. I don't want to delete though, so I want to send. And we should be able to get to that from either of those. That just pre-fills byte right there. So if we want to test sending here, we currently have a 0 balance. If we send, say, 0.0001, let's see if we can send that small amount. And send. Okay. And some of the stuff that's hidden right now, but we get a transaction hex. That's what's generated by the tooling we've built in the Dash Incubator. And with that, we can click send here. And this should, there we go. So this one just updated. We have a little bit of funds there now. And this one went down a tiny little bit. So what we saw here was this transaction hex was one of the last things we saw. and then it goes through a few other things once you click send. So it posted it to a remote URL. Let's see if we can find it. So it did this here. So it posted that raw transaction, this right here. So it posted the raw transaction to this endpoint, which we've got a library wrapping this endpoint, and sent that payload, and then the response returns the transaction ID, and let's see, we get a few other things here. So send to, we've also implemented some stuff recently, as in within the last few episodes of this series, that figures out the optimal transaction size, which probably doesn't make that much sense if you're not that familiar. But if we look in here, for example, so what this UTXO endpoint, so inside addresses UTXO, we send a payload of all the addresses we have access to, and we're doing this in bulk. We don't have to do this in bulk, but we're doing it so we're not hitting this API like 50 times. I don't actually, there's probably 40 addresses in there right now, but you know, near 50 times, and that's just for 2 contacts. This would be getting hit for every single contact, all the addresses generated for them. So it could be a lot of hits to that API, and I don't think that's cool personally. So we send a bulk request, and we get all of these addresses back from the bulk request. And what this is showing us is essentially the change we have in our wallet. So if this was a real life fiat wallet, these would be, I think they're generally referred to as coins or tokens. So these would be in our coin pouch, but it's funny because the coins could be like the same amount as a dollar bill. So you could have a $1 coin, but not, it would be one dash coin. You could also have a 1.3321, like you could have a coin that is that entire amount. It doesn't really matter. But you can also have a lot of tiny coins. So for example here, this is 10,000 Satoshis, but that is roughly 0.0001 dash. And then we've got 0.003 dash, 0.005. So these are all our spendable coins that we have access to. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because what was originally happening is we were grabbing everything available, and when you tried to send a transaction to someone, we would grab everything, send the small amount, and all of the leftover would end up getting sent back to us as change. But it meant we were revealing every single token we had access to in a transaction to someone, which is not ideal. So now we have a function that does the optimal UTXOs. That's why I'm explaining it. In any case, we go through these addresses, we find whatever is closest. So for example, here we've got 0.0001. And that's the exact amount that we needed to send. So if that was close enough to what we sent here, we may have been able to send without breaking up any other coins. But if that amount is not enough and you need more, we would, for example, have to send 2 of these and then get some of it back in change. So for example, if, let's see, if we refresh this, instead of having 8, we now have 7. And it likely means one of these maybe we were able to do it somehow. Or maybe the one we sent actually had a little bit more. I don't actually know. But somehow it figured out whichever was the best one to do it and ended up sending from that one, and then we get change back, essentially. So what we need to get to in this stream and maybe another stream here is to these last 2 things. Encrypting the wallet data. So let's show that real quick. Inside of here, we've got a few things that are worth encrypting. I may have made note of this. Let me check. Oh, I actually have quite a few things on my handwritten to-do list. Oh, that's funny. So that's something else we need to add is a log out. We have no way of clearing this other than in the dev tools here right now is how I clear it. So we need a log out option. Okay, I did. So this is what I was looking for. So what I added to my list is encrypt the aliases here. So encrypt this information and encrypt contacts here. So at the very least, we want to encrypt these 2 things. So each contact would have their information. I don't know to what degree we want to encrypt it actually. If we want to encrypt even this wallet data here, so the incoming and outgoing, or if we just want to like encrypt alias and info, for example. So that's a decision we'll work through as we continue through here. Let's see. So those are the only 2 things on my written list. This is key store is already encrypted. So that's how we're currently doing the encryption, and the reason that we need to have an encryption password is right now this information is stored in a key store. So contacts and aliases, addresses. This is one of the things that I'm not sure if it's worth encrypting. I kind of vacillate on this. Essentially, if we encrypt all of this data, we're going to have to parse every single one of these when we try to load it. It will make our life a little bit harder. I like more security, but I also don't know if it's actually worth it. And then accounts here represents, so this wallet, the alias in the top right corner here, Jojo, is represented here as account index 0, address index 0. The contact here is account index 1. And as you add more contacts, each one gets an incremented account index. Okay, so in any case, with the all of the information in either of these accounts is derived from public keys, I think. I don't think it's worth encrypting it. Or rather, maybe I should rephrase this. I don't think it's worth encrypting this for stage 1. So as you can see in the roadmap, we've got stage 1 here, stage 2, stage 3, and stage 4. Oh, and stage 5. So I think it would be better if we added more stuff to the encryption list in one of the other stages. So the most important things that I think to encrypt are these two things, and that's why I have them on my list. The other stuff, we could have like a paranoid mode or something, you know, whatever we want to call it, and it would encrypt everything stored in here rather than just those things. I just don't know if I have enough time to get it done, and we're trying to wrap up stage 1, so I don't think it needs to be added in stage 1. In any case, that's what I'm looking through here, is I think we're going to focus on getting contacts and aliases encrypted with the same information that the wallet is using from this key store. So let's see. Oh, that might be worthwhile. Let me add this to the list before I forget. So we have logout, clear current wallet. The other thing I just added to my list real quick is lock wallet. So when I created this wallet and the other one, this one here, I told it to remember the encryption phrase, which ends up getting stored here in session storage. So a lock one could essentially delete that. Let's see, which one is that for? Yeah, so if I delete that and refresh this page, now it has to be decrypted again. So if I enter the decryption phrase and don't select that, so I do that, it's decrypted for now, but if I were to refresh again, so notice no session storage is saved right now. I think I might be able to send or request. Let's try that actually. I'm gonna click here and I'm gonna try to send 0.0001 again. And so this should bump to 2. Okay, so it bumped up right there to 2. So it treats it as it's unlocked as long as you don't leave this page or refresh the page, which we don't have any other routes for this app right now. So there really is no leaving. Everything opens in dialog modals. So all of that opened in modals, so you could still send more funds here if we needed to. However, if I refresh,